Good day, everyone. This is Teacher Jamie. It's another day to learn and to review. So, our review session for today will be focused on the language education research. Here is our instructions. So, you need to read each item carefully and choose the best answer from the given choices. So, this exam assesses your understanding of key concepts in language education research, and each question has only one correct answer. Let's proceed to question number 1. What is the main purpose of action research in language education? Is it letter A, to develop broad theories applicable to many settings? B, to test hypotheses through controlled experiments? C, to improve teaching practice through reflection and collaboration? Or is it letter D, to collect standardized test scores for analysis? So the correct answer is letter C, to improve the teaching practices through reflection and collaboration. As we all know, action research is primarily centered on intervention, which aims to enhance the teaching and learning. So the goal is to make meaningful changes through the real-world classroom experiences and, of course, problems. So letter A is wrong because action research is context-specific, and meaning to say it is more practical. It is not just focuses on generalizable theories. B is wrong because it describes the experimental research rather than an action research. And lastly, letter D is wrong because while data may be used, action research is not focused on just standardized assessment analysis, but rather on improving specific classroom practice. Next is question number 2. What is the primary purpose of a literature review in a research study? Is it letter A, to collect raw data from participants? B, to summarize and analyze existing studies related to the topic? C, to present the research findings? Or lastly, letter D, to test hypotheses? So the correct answer is letter B, to summarize and analyze existing studies related to the topic. As we all know, a literature review provides a foundation for the research. So it helps us to identify the research gap, define the research questions more, and of course to justify the need for having a new study. So letter A is wrong because the data collection process happens in the methodology phase. Letter C is wrong because this is done, the research finding is done on the findings section of the research paper. And lastly, letter D, hypothesis testing is part of the data analysis stage and not on the literature review. Let's proceed on question number 3. Which of the following is a common data collection method in qualitative language education research? Is it letter A, multiple choice tests? B, interviews? C, standardized scoring rubrics? Or is it letter D, statistical survey? So the correct answer is letter B, interviews. As we all know, in qualitative research, interviews focuses more on gathering an in-depth exploration on the participants' thoughts, feelings, and experiences, which is connected on the qualitative study. So letter A is wrong because the multiple choice tests are quantitative tools used to measure the performance, not to explore the subjective experiences. C is wrong because while rubrics may be used for assessment, they are not typically tools for qualitative data collection. And lastly, letter D is wrong because these are more aligned with quantitative research, focusing on numerical data and of course on the next question number 4. Which research approach is most appropriate for investigating how a bilingual student's identity evolves in a multicultural classroom? Again, how a bilingual student's identity evolves in a multicultural classroom. Is it letter A, experimental research? B, case study research? C, meta-analysis? Or lastly, letter D, correlational research? So the correct answer is letter B, case study. This is because case study research is ideal for in-depth exploration of a single case or a small number of cases in their real-life context. So in this scenario, investigating how a bilingual student's identity evolves or explore the social, cultural, and psychological factors over time are fitted. So letter A is wrong, which is the experimental research, because this approach involves manipulating variables in a controlled setting. So C is wrong, which is the meta-analysis, because it involves a statistical analysis for findings from multiple quantitative studies. And lastly, letter D, correlational research, is wrong because this approach examine the relationship between variables, which often use numerical data but does not capture the personal or the evolving context of a bilingual learner. So we are now down on question number 5. So question number 5, which of the following is not the characteristics of qualitative research in language education? Is it letter A, uses open-ended data collection methods? B, prioritizes participants' lived experiences? C, seeks generalizability through statistical significance? Or lastly, letter D, emphasizes rich contextualized description. So the correct answer is letter C. This is because a qualitative research focuses on understanding meaning, context, and lived experiences rather than producing statistically generalizable results. So it aims to provide these contextualized insights rather than read numeric conclusions. So letter A is wrong because it is correct for qualitative research as interviews, observation, and journal. B also fits for the qualitative research, so it's central to the inquiry which explores how people make sense of their experiences. And lastly, letter D is also fits for the qualitative research because this is a hallmark of qualitative research which describes and helps readers understand the setting and participants' perspective. Next, question number 6. The study, which is entitled Improving Vocabulary Retention Through Reflective Journals, a teacher-led inquiry, represents what type of research? Is it letter A, qualitative research, B, quantitative research, C, mixed methods research, or lastly, letter D, action research? So the correct answer is letter C. So the title clearly fits to the action research because as we all know, action research focuses more on the practical, collaborative, and it often involves a cyclical processes of planning. So letter A, qualitative research is wrong because while the study might use qualitative methods, which is the reflective journal, the defining feature here, which is to improve the practice through inquiry, which is the essence of the action research. The quantitative research, there is no indication of numerical data collection of statistical analysis here. And lastly, mixed method is wrong because the title does not suggest integration of both qualitative and quantitative research. Next is question number 7. What type of research is best represented by the title, The Effects of Task-Based Language Teaching on the Speaking Fluency of ESL Learners? Is it letter A, qualitative research, B, quantitative research, C, mixed methods research, or lastly, letter D, action research? So the correct answer is letter B. This is because the title suggests a study which focuses on measuring the impact of the specific teaching methods, which is the task-based language teaching, on a particular outcome, which is the speaking fluency. So the use of the phrase effect strongly implies a cause and effect investigation, which is a hallmark of quantitative research, which involves the process of pre-test, post-test, and statistical analysis. So letter A, which is the qualitative research, is wrong because qualitative research focuses more on exploring the experiences, perception, and of course, it does not measure the effects. Next is the mixed method is wrong also because this title does not indicate the use of both qualitative and quantitative methods. And lastly, action research is wrong because, of course, in order to have an action research, it usually involves a teacher practitioner working to improve their own practice. So this title does not reflect that the objective or the reflective process of an action research. Next is question number 8. So in this study, the effects of task-based language teaching on speaking fluency, which is the independent variable? Is it letter A, the task-based language teaching, B, the speaking fluency, C, the number of participants, or is it letter D, the student age? So the correct answer is letter A, the task-based language teaching. As we all know, the independent variable is the factor that is manipulated or controlled by the researcher to observe its effect on another variable. So in this study, the task-based language teaching is the instructional approach being applied or varied to see how it influences the learner. So letter B, the speaking fluency is wrong because the speaking fluency is the dependent variable, which is the outcome affected by the independent variable. Letter C, the number of participants is also wrong because this is a sample characteristic, not a variable manipulated or measured as part of the hypothesis. Lastly, letter D, the students' ages, is also wrong because this is a demographic variable, typically controlled or noted but not manipulated. Next is question number 9. A type of non-probability sampling where the required sample and sample per stratum is determined and complied with, but respondents are not randomly selected is called. It is letter A, quota sampling, B, voluntary sampling, C, purposive sampling, or the letter D, snowball sampling. The correct answer is letter B, quota sampling. This is because quota sampling is a non-probability sampling technique where the researchers set quotas to ensure representation of a specific subgroups or strata within the sample. Letter B is wrong, which is the voluntary sampling, because in voluntary sampling, the participants self-reflect to participate, which is often leading to volunteer bias. Lastly, next is letter C, availability sampling, or also called as the convenient sampling method, involves selecting participants who are easily accessible without regard to a strata or quotas. Lastly, letter D, snowball sampling. This is used for hard-to-reach population where existing participants recruit others or often in networks. And we are down to our last question, question number 10. Vera determines her respondents by asking initial participants to refer others who are suited for her study. Which type of non-probability sampling is this? Is it letter A, quota sampling, B, voluntary sampling, C, purposive sampling, or lastly letter D, snowball sampling? The correct answer is letter D, snowball sampling. As we all know, snowball sampling is a non-probability sampling, which is technique where the initial participants refer or recruit other participants meet the study's criteria. So this method is especially useful for assessing hard to reach or specific population needed in every study. So letter A is wrong, which is the quota sampling, because in quota sampling, researchers set quotas for subgroup but do not rely on participants' referrals. So letter B is also wrong because in voluntary sampling, participants does not join on their own without being referred by others. And lastly, the availability sampling, or the convenience sampling selection, is based on convenience, not refer. And that's all for a review session for the subject language, education, and research. So add up your points and comment down below your total score. Again, this is Teacher Jamie. Bye for now.